Hold up, guys. I'm coming. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In honor of 250,000 subscribers, I want to be answering your questions today. I posted on social media. You guys answered the questions, so we're gonna get down to it, but I'm starving. So first, let's eat. Oh, this is fire. I do that for me. Boom, that is hard. If you're wondering what that is, Tory Lane's new album, it is dope. So anyways, breakfast, guys, real quick. For those of you that are concerned, we have some shaved steak and 2 pieces of Dave's Killer Bread, about 420 calories. Breaking my fast today at about 12:45 p.m. So some of you are not here for that, you're here for the questions. So let's get right down to business. Question number 1 comes from Chris Bellies, and he asks, what are the few things needed to be successful on YouTube and to make a career out of it? So I would not say that YouTube is just the sum of having a few things and then being successful at them. I think YouTube, you need a variety of skill sets, such as video production, such as editing quality, such as your on-camera presence. There's a lot of different things that go into YouTube. So when people ask me like, what's the easiest way to be successful on YouTube? I always tell them like, you need to simply start and find your stride, right? When I started, go back and watch my old videos. You just go back and see the evolution from the first Remington videos to now. Not only just quality, but overall presence, overall confidence in myself, and getting over some of those things that you feel like are holding you back, and learning to take those weaknesses and turn those into strengths is ultimately how you'll be successful on YouTube. All of that in conjunction with consistency and a willingness to keep on learning and getting better at your craft. Like I talked about the quality, getting better in my videos. My new videos are night and day different than my old ones, but it's because I always was open to learn new things and try new things in my videos. Some fell short, some I succeeded in, but you know, no mistakes, only lessons. You learn from those mistakes, you apply them to your overall strategy, and you continue moving forward. So for being successful on YouTube, you gotta just kind of find your stride, man. Appreciate the question and the support, homie. Thank you. Can I take a moment to show you guys how good this is? Oh my gosh. New game changer, I'm telling you. I'll put more of it in a future vlog, you can see more of it, but game changer. So, next question from Matt Olfest. He asks, have you made a decision on where to move? And honestly, man, I have not yet. There's a lot of things to take into consideration, such as the cost of living in another place versus where I live now. Right now, for this house, I don't pay much at all monthly. If I go somewhere else, that's gonna probably double, triple, maybe even quadruple what my monthly payment looks like. And on top of that, I'm trying to coordinate it with Ankrum and Grant at the same time to find the best place for all of us. So we have some trips planned soon, probably gonna go see Eric the Electric, and then out to Texas for Chris Jones. It's gonna give us a view of like California and also a view of Texas. And those are kind of the two, you know, in my brain space right now of where I wanna go. But, you know, I feel like experience speaks better than anything. So instead of just like, this is where I'm moving, I want to go visit these places, see the people, feel the culture, if you know what I mean. So it's a much harder decision than you would think, because moving requires a lot. That's a commitment. Yeah, still got to figure that out, but that's kind of where my head's at. Thanks for your question, Matt. Appreciate you, homie. And the next question comes from Jose Dominguez, and he asks, how does it feel to be financially independent? I ask because 95% of your fan base, myself included, will never get to experience it, but I would love to know. I originally wasn't going to answer this question, but it had the most upvotes of any comment on the post. So I figured, why not tackle it? So the first thing I want to say is that you saying that you'll never achieve financial independence is a limiting belief on your part. You can have anything you want as long as you're willing to work for it and you have the passion towards whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. So don't limit yourself like that, man. And then secondly, financial independence. I mean, I will say it is nice. Like my paycheck solely revolves around how hard I'm willing to work. But it's not just me anymore, right? Like I have business partners that me being good at what I do directly affects all of our brands and how they perform. I have Grant on full time, and you know, me being good at what I do and me working also depends on him getting his paycheck. So there's a lot of things there, and I would say like financial independence is fun, but like you also take on more responsibility when not only your livelihood's at stake anymore, but like other people's livelihoods are too. So I mean, I enjoy not having to really worry about the small stuff anymore in regards to money. Like if I want it, I can just go get it. But on the same time, like there's a lot of pressure and a lot of stress because like I gotta perform, you know what I mean? So it's nice, but I implore you to just experience it for yourself, man. Go out there, get after what you want, you experience it, and then maybe I'll be asking you the same question on a Q&A here soon. Ooh, full belly. Let's keep this going. So I got different versions of this question everywhere, but I chose to answer Tony Boglavani. So hopefully I pronounced that right. He asks, if you move out to another city, will you move your girlfriend with you, or are you going to end it? Good question. Little backstory, when I first started YouTube back in the beginning, I live in a very small city with a bunch of small-minded people that are not used to seeing people go out of the norm, the 9-to-5 stuff. When I first started this, everybody in this city, at least the fitness community, talked crap about me behind my back, told me I was gonna fail. Bunch of people reached out to my girlfriend and even told her, I don't know why you're with him. He's gonna make you look stupid. He's gonna make you look like a failure. And you need to find yourself a man that is serious about his career and long-term goals. Well, long story short, who's laughing now? Because we're crushing all of them. But the moral of that story is that in the beginning, she was the only person that believed in me. She held the camera for me in a lot of my first videos. My original camera woman, she cheered me on when things weren't going well. She gave me advice when I asked if it was fine for me to quit my job and move into this full time. She's been there through all of it, the low times, the high times, and I'm a firm believer that you don't give up on people that never gave up on you. So as of right now, I will move. I don't think she's in a position to move with me just yet, maybe somewhere down the road, but keep it a long distance relationship. You know, as of right now, I'm a very busy guy. We don't get to see each other as much as we'd like. Back to the financial independence thing. I can always have her fly out to me, spend the weekends with me. You know, we can make it work. Where there's a will, there's a way. So that's my game plan. Thank you so much for your question. And next question comes from John Watchpocket. That can't be your real last name, man. Are you going to get your own booth at the Arnold Classic next year? So if you watched the video this year, it was insane meeting everybody. And I had a ton of people reach out to me and say they couldn't meet me this year at the Arnold just due to the expo's massive, right? I really think this next year I'm going to do everything in my power to get a booth. I looked up how much they cost. They're really not that much money. And I think that by then the apparel will be established and I'll be able to actually justify spending that money and potentially recouping some of those losses while giving everybody that wants to stop by, shake my hand, wants me to kiss their baby, we can make that happen as well, like a centralized location. So that's the game plan, man. So obviously as that comes near, I will give you guys more info. Thanks for your question, Mr. Watchpocket. Next question from Alexander Ramos, longtime subscriber of the channel. I remember that name, and the question makes more sense in that regard. So he asks, where are the gals of the channel? I am missing Mindy. Long story short, if you followed a lot of my videos, I used to film in a gym that was like red and black in a lot of my older videos. I'm no longer associated with that gym. Somewhere along the line, they took issue with me filming there and handled it in a very immature way, right? So I'm no longer affiliated with them, and certain people run that gym that used to be on the channel. The two kind of go hand in hand. So all I will say is that if you're an adult, and especially if you do business, you need to handle things in a certain way, right? Being childish and immature is never the best way to handle certain situations. Most things can be figured out with a simple conversation instead of jumping to conclusions. So I will leave you guys with that, but hey, on the bright side, if we move, there's plenty of new gyms with plenty of new girls. So there you go. And if there's one thing that I'm gonna be sure to take with me with this move, it's gonna be this plant. I've had this plant since I was a wee chap. It's kind of a bearer of good luck. Good fortune, if you will. Next question from Gage Huber. What's your gamer tag? That's easy. Remington James. Remington Space James. That's it. Add me on Xbox Live. Been playing a lot of Fortnite lately. Whew. This is probably the most fun I've ever had doing a Q&A. All right, next question, and I love this question, by the way, from Jeffrey McDonald. He says, real talk, do you worry that people are going to try and use you now and going forward as you become more of a success? How will you guard yourself from that? That's a good question. I think that anytime you become successful, there's always people that want to like grab onto your coattails and hang on, right? That's one thing I think we notice as Team Dry Scoop as a whole that we always kind of comment about is how many people want to get in on the group now. In the beginning, they didn't really want to be in it, but now that everything's taken off, people just want to latch on and become a part of it. And I'm at a point now where if you don't really add value to my life, then, I mean, you know, do your thing, we can be friends, but like, I keep my circle very small for a reason. And you're always gonna have people that are trying to take advantage of you in certain situations, but I believe in the universe and, you know, whatever higher power you believe in, like the higher power I believe in, I think has my back. So, you know, anytime I get a weird feeling when I'm speaking to somebody about business or I get that weird feeling in my gut that tells me something's not right, I listen to that. And I'm telling you guys, like, you might not think there is, but there is a hidden science behind listening to your gut and following through with that, because 9 times out of 10, when I've had a bad feeling about something and I don't do it, or I do it, the opposite of what I wanted to happen happens, and it's usually not for the best. So keep that in mind. But as far as worrying about people taking advantage of me, I consider myself a pretty intelligent dude, and I can usually see snakes in tall grass, so I got this. Thanks for your question, man. And the next question comes from Nick Thomas. I personally love this one. He asks, over the course of your rise on YouTube, social media, your business, etc., were there any personal risks or sacrifices that you had to go through in order to become what you are today? What advice on those sacrifices can you give us, the viewers? Thank you. Whew, I love that question. And as far as personal sacrifices and stuff go, I would say that anytime you want to be an entrepreneur and you really want to get outside of what everybody else is doing, that inherently in and of itself is going to be a sacrifice on a multitude of levels. So as I spoke about a little bit earlier, when I first started this, everybody around me had something negative to say about it. I mean, imagine walking into a gym and you just put out your first, second, or third video and you just see people whispering, staring at you from across the place, or you're known as that goofy guy trying to do YouTube and everybody wants to talk down on you. You know how hard it is to keep going when everybody else around you is telling you that what you're doing isn't gonna work? That's tough. Or do you know how hard it is to give up certain people in your life you might be really good friends with, but you realize that they don't serve you anymore and they're not making you better, having to cut off those relationships? Or the fact that some days I will work 16 hours. I will wake up and I will work up until I pass out at night, and it's just a big ball of stress. Me and my girlfriend used to hang out 5-6 times a week. Every time we could, she'd stay the night all the time. Now I see her once, maybe twice a week if I'm lucky, because I work so much. The amount of times that like for instance, my mom calls me the other day. She says, hey, we're meeting up for lunch down the street, come and join us. But I'm in the middle of editing a video. And she's like, can't you just take an hour break? And I said, if I take that hour break right now, that makes me just like everybody else trying to do what I'm doing. I'm like, you got to avoid those sacrifices and you got to grind. So I've given up quite a bit to get where I'm at. And I know when you guys watch videos, you always see like what we want you to see. You see the best sides of everything. You don't see the hardships and the struggles and like, you know, the amount of negative comments you get and people calling you out about stuff that you're extremely self-conscious of yourself about. Before I ever got into being on a screen all the time, right? What are my biggest insecurities? I'll tell you guys right now. The one of them is that I don't have any hair. As you guys see, I always wear a hat. 2 is that I've had acne a lot of my life. I kind of have it under control now, but I still bear scars from it. And that's stuff that, you know, on a subconscious level bothers me about myself. And then to have people that you've never met before in your life whose only sole purpose is to try to make you feel bad about yourself, or they're jealous of what you're doing or something along those lines, and they point those flaws out to you in a public forum. Stuff like that in and of itself is its own sacrifice. But I would say that overall, out of everything I've been through, if I've learned one lesson, and that's very important that I want to impart on you guys, is that it does not matter what anybody else thinks short of your close circle, your family, and your friends. Other than that, everybody else can kick rocks. And here lately, I've had to establish that mindset. I've actually been talking to Grant about it more. I would consider myself a nice guy. But when it comes to haters and things like this, like, I'm done being nice. I'm done. I'm gonna start being a savage when it comes to these people, because all they are in the end is clowns. A bunch of people walking around, stuck in bubbles, with no purpose, no drive, no ambition, and they wanna tell me how to live my life. Those people can kick rocks. You wouldn't even fit a day in my shoes, homie. You couldn't even fit these things on, let alone tie them. So that's my mindset I have when it comes to all of these people that want to doubt, right? And I'm going to tell you guys the exact same thing. Anytime you go out and you do anything, the belief in yourself is the most important one you can have. In the beginning, no one believed in me, short of my girlfriend, and I had to prove every single person wrong. And no amount of money I make, no amount of success I have, no matter if I get a TV show one day, whatever, all of that, you can wipe it clean. The best part about this entire thing has been proving everybody that doubted me wrong. And that has been the ultimate satisfaction here. I know I might have got a little off topic there, but as far as sacrifices, there's definitely some that need to be made in order to be successful. You know, your typical 8-hour workday goes out the window. Perks like insurance, things like that kind of go out the window at first, but as long as you're willing to grind and go after what you want, I'm telling you guys, you can have whatever it is that you want in this life, and it doesn't matter what anybody else has to say. Insulate yourself, be like a horse, put on those blinders, look straight ahead, and keep on going, because, you know what I mean? 3 years from now, they'll still be talking. I'll be stunting down the street in a Lamborghini. Who's talking now? You know what I mean? Thanks for your question. Thanks for your question. And on that final question, I still am trying to catch my breath from that one. That was a long one. We are done with this Q&A. Thank you to everybody that left a question. I appreciate you guys so much. And thank you to everybody that helped be a part of making this channel a 250,000 subscriber channel. Without you guys, this would not have been possible. So I hope you guys took something away from this. I used to do Q&As weekly. Now I try to just do them every now and again when a special occasion arises. So if you guys enjoy these videos, make sure you leave a comment below. And if you had a favorite question or topic or something that really resonated with you, comment that below as well, because I love reading down through them and seeing what you guys like. So we are out of here. By the way, we still have a couple of these in stock. We're almost sold completely out, but rjfitapparel.com. Take advantage of the sale. RJF20 saves you 20% off. The usual, guys. And then be ready, next video, I think we're doing a 36-hour fasting experiment before and after. So if you're excited for that, let me know. As always, don't forget to smile, remain positive, and pay someone a compliment, because you never know whose day you can make them better with that. We are out of here. It's been a Remington James production. I will see you fine, ladies and gentlemen, at the next video. See you guys.